for Coretta,
Yeah.
what I prayed was, Father, I don't want her spirit because I don't want her burden. So for me, it's more like, how am I perceived by the people who actually know me and care about me?
Yeah.
They're the people I'm impressing.
Welcome everyone. We are thrilled to invite you to a whole new season of Reservations for Two here at STK. But before we dive in, let's take a moment to emphasize the importance of self-care. Remember, professional therapy is a recipe for a healthy and a happier you. However, here, we also like to celebrate the joy that comes with sharing meals with friends, because good food and good company go hand in hand. So get ready for a season full of laughs, wonderful cuisines, joy, learning experiences for your own betterment journey. So we hope you enjoy this season. Mwah. In the whirlwind of a demanding career, it's easy to get lost in the roles that we play. From professional responsibilities to personal commitments, the juggling act almost becomes like second nature. Yet amidst the chaos, we often neglect the most critical role, the act of caring for ourselves. Now join me as I have a reservation with Weruche Opia, actress and all-round amazing personality who's appeared on Top Boy, Bad Education, popularly known for playing Terry in I May Destroy You, and most recently playing the phenomenal Coretta Scott King in National Geographic series Genius MLKX.
I'm just so grateful that you're here. Thank you for giving me your time.
Thank you for having me.
I'm really grateful, like legit, because it's just nice to sit with someone who is not only accomplished, established, but who is just really real and down to earth as well. And I'm like,
Girl, you gonna make me cry. I'm like, God, you did that. Amen.
but I'm so happy that you're here. I really wanted to sit with you because, again, it's just beautiful to speak to somebody who has done it and is doing it so gracefully. It's still even yet to do more. But also it's nice and it's interesting for me to be able to get a little bit into the mind of someone who has such a hectic and sometimes grueling career, and then also trying to find out how you're managing that alongside your mental health, your spiritual health, your physical health, your general well-being, how you're still maintaining your sense of self whilst you're literally getting paid to be other people. So yeah, I think if we go back, first of all, let's do a cheers.
Yes.
Because
I'm parched.
because it's a good time.
Cheers.
It's a good time. Oh, that is really good.
Very good.
Oh, that's really, really good.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's got a kick.
Yeah. Just let me.
Yes, it's sweet. You've done theatre.
Yes.
Did you start out in theatre?
No, my first role was TV. I was on The Bill. I think the last the penultimate episode was that. That was my first.
That was good TV.
I played a prostitute, so that was fun as my first role.
Do you know what?
But I smashed it.
I mean, look,
to be honest,
you're a professional,
darling. I shall be whoever you want me to be.
So what you playing?
But that was my first professional role. But I did have I did have some theatre training, and I think that is the best kind of like setup for this industry, for this career, because then you're kind of equipped to do theatre and TV. Some actors aren't able to do both, but I'm grateful that I can learn the craft of both. Yes.
Is there much of a difference?
Yes. Someone once said this to me and it's stuck in my head forever. Theatre is sun acting. So you're on a stage and you're giving your light out, you're projecting. So you're projecting your voice, your physicality. So, because there's a lot of people and there's a lot of room to fill, so you have to be the sun and shine through.
Yeah, fill up the space.
Exactly. But for film or TV, you're a moon, which is more drawing people in. Oh. So everything is a bit more muted and not as large. And I've got a very expressive face. So I used to have to sit in front of the mirror and like train my face to do less for TV because the camera's right there and it picks up every little thing you do. And I do a lot of eyebrow talking and acting. So
This just sounds so intense. I can't.
I don't know I don't know if people do that, but that's what I did. And so when I'm on stage, I allow myself to be fully, just embody everything, use my whole body.
Yeah.
But with TV, I have to just hold it down a little bit and make it more insular and what are my inside thoughts and let them seep out.
It just sounds like skill after skill after like.
It does sound smart, don't it?
It just sounds good, girl. It sounds so even.
I didn't even know I knew that.
so did you know you always wanted to? Because you went to acting school, didn't you?
I did. I went to a part-time drama school, Identity School of Acting. But before then, I went to the University of the West of England in Bristol, which is a regular university.
Yeah.
And I studied drama and sociology there.
So you knew this was the field that you wanted.
I did, but I had to get a degree because I have Nigerian parents.
Listen, do we not know? But we all know about that degree that's just sitting there.
Honestly, because I was like, I didn't want to go to university because I was like, I don't need it.
Yeah.
And I didn't know much about drama school either, but I didn't want to go to drama school. And so I was like, okay, what should I do at university? Let me pick the subjects that I'm good at, which was drama and sociology. And the drama degree was trash. Like all we did was read plays and plays and plays and plays.
I've heard, this is not the first time I've heard that.
It was, I can count how many performances I did. I think 3. So basically 1 a year. But the good thing about it was I was able to learn about the classic plays and the theory and stuff. But in terms of an actor, I don't think it did much for me.
Right.
And then I came out of there, graduated, and then found Identity School of Acting. And that's kind of where I learned the actual skill that I had a natural penchant for it.
And what would you say your first moment was, or your first movie or thing that you saw and you was like, I want to tap into that?
What's Love Got to Do with It? Angela Bassett playing Tina Turner.
Do you know what? There's I don't know if you've ever heard it before, but I remember when we first met, I was like, there's a thing. I don't know what it is. But there's a thing.
Not the thing.
That like you do that I'm like, I can see the vein of Angela Bassett here. I really can.
I've never been told that before.
Never, but I'm
gonna cry again.
No, I'm like, she's a good girl.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
So that's really funny that you said that that was your first. What made it to be like, what did she do, or what was the
It was just so real. The scene was when I think I can't remember now, but I know she ran out of the hotel room and I think when she decided to run away from Ike or something. And I just remember the scene, in my head. I could see her running out into traffic out of the hotel. And for the longest time, I thought that Angela Bassett was Tina Turner. Because I couldn't understand the fact that she could play somebody. Yeah. I thought that was her. Yeah. It was just watching her be her.
And she did it in such a real way.
It was fantastic.
Do you know what's so funny? I literally remember looking at that scene thinking, I'm sure, Tina Turner. Angela Bassett Turner.
It's crazy.
Like, it was so real. And I think in that moment, I also too perhaps was just like, this is just, because like, again, back to, we have similar roots of, we're both Nigerian, naturally very expressive, very vivacious. We're alive people, very hand gestury. And I think often it's not hard to perhaps fall back into the dramatics of things, but that I remember looking at that being like, oh my god, she's an actress. She's an actress.
Oh gosh, I love her.
Like she's
it's so much love.
Not skill, skilled.
With a T.
With a T.
I love it.
It's a skill.
Oh yeah.
But I definitely can see that. And how do you feel though in terms of like just your journey in general from going to through universities to then going into acting school, being more around people of like-mindedness, then kind of getting to a stage where you're like, oh, actually, this is becoming a real thing and this is tangible. Yeah. What was your mental process through that? Were you just kind of going with the flow, or did you kind of always know and you had a determination? And
it wasn't cookie cutter, I won't say that. It's acting is something I've always enjoyed from childhood. And so I kind of thought I'm the kind of person who likes to play on their strengths. Yeah. Because I enjoy doing this thing, people make a living out of it.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a go. But I didn't know that I was actually going to be a professional actor, per se. I remember after going to the part-time drama school, I got signed to the agency. And I remember the day I got signed to the agency, I was on the way to, because we'd have these, not what are they called, at the end, like at end of a year. What's the
Like a review.
That's the word.
Yeah.
It's the mojito, even though it's not alcoholic.
Is the mojito going on? The mojito is going.
So I was on the way to the meeting and I said to God, right, I don't know what you want me to do with my life. I really enjoy acting. It's what I want to do. But if you have anything else for me, that's fine. I just want to do whatever you want me to do.
Yeah.
So I said to him, if I get signed to the agency, then I'll know that this is what you want me to do with my life. If not, I'm just going to do whatever else you have in store for me.
Yeah.
Got to the meeting, and as far as I'm aware, I was the only person in the class who got signed to the agency that day. And imagine I'm sitting there and he's saying to me, we'd like to invite you onto the agency. And I'm like, this is a prank. I literally just said to God, if this is what you want me to do, this is what's going to happen.
In moments like that, I'm like, you think you're so funny? Think you're so smart?
Okay, you got to flex, God. Like, and I'm just sitting there like, what? So this is actually it? And so
Just like that.
And I came out of the meeting and I was in tears because I was like, first of all, God, you answered me like that. And second of all, this is my purpose. And I know it. And I know there's something I call, and this is no shade at all, called the struggling musician. And I know that people have passions, but it gets to a point where you have to be like, is this passion going to be realistic? Yes. And that's something that I was always afraid of. I didn't want to be an actor who was going to be struggling and have a not good quality of life because I was chasing this passion and not being able to find a way to live while chasing that passion. So I remember leaving and I was in tears because I was like, wow, I've actually found my purpose. And I know this now without a shadow of a doubt that this is what God wants to use me for in this life.
So beautiful.
And that gave me so much confidence, but I won't lie and tell you that hasn't been contested.
100%.
It was like at one point, 3 times a year, I would give up. Every quarter. How many quarters are there? 4.
Yeah. Sit 3. 4.
You don't.
If you take the 3 from the 4 and the 4 from the 3, there's quarters. This one.
4 quarters.
Yeah.
One of.
We hope. We're playing.
We're pretty. We're pretty and we're funny, so it's okay. The only maps I know is money. If you want me,
you want to, we're pretty.
Pretty and we're smart. Duh. Literally every quarter I would quit acting. Because it was just like it was kind of like, and then after I'd quit and come back to my senses, I'd be like, okay, 1 quarter of the year's gone, because it was only 3 more quits to go. And so even though I didn't know it was my purpose, it was not and has not been smooth sailing. And so it's just kind of like remembering and checking in every quarter is kind of like coming up to that point, because I think there was one time I didn't work for 11 months. How I survived, I can't tell you. It was blessing, God just providing. And so it was kind of like every quarter I'd give up and God would be like, I told you this is what it was. It's not going to be.
You know what? It's so funny because I genuinely feel as though I've recently found what my purpose is. And I think it's that there's this misconception around your purpose that you just feel as though, okay, as soon as I find it, I'm going to be sailing in the wind like I'm on a boat in Capri with the wind blowing through my hair. And then you begin to realize that, but I do say that the thing about driving in your purpose as opposed to driving when you're out of purpose is that there is this like internal determination that you can't quite explain and can't quite put your hands on, but it just fuels you and it helps you to keep going even when everything is telling you to stop. 100%. Because you're like, listen, it doesn't actually take much out of me. I love to do this. I am alive when I do this. I thrive when I do this. As opposed to like something else, like when we was even speaking about like in terms of like my corporate career, I do not thrive to do this. I'm not awakened to do it. However, place me in a position of my purpose and I would do it for free.
Baby.
I would run there with
you come alive.
I come alive.
It's what
I come
feeds.
alive, you know,
it's what feeds us.
and it helps you to ride the waves of the difficult times, I guess. And I guess a huge testament to the fact that you are so walking in your purpose is the fact that you are currently or about to start the press run for being in an oh boy. You are playing the Coretta Scott King.
Have I got the goosebumps?
Like, it's insane. Like, you are playing a legacy character in Genius.
Yes.
Produced by Nat Geo.
Yes, it's a Nat Geo production. They've done a few seasons, so this is their fourth.
And you're about to start a US press run.
Yeah.
Playing a phenomenal, like, as in, but also seeing like clips and trailers and stuff. Not only did you play a phenomenal character, but you gave that character life. Like, as in, it's so amazing to like read about this character and read about things that, you know, who this person was, or who this person was to such a mighty figure. But then seeing that character played out, it kind of gives for us young ones, for us. For us young girls that wasn't alive in the time to be able to experience it firsthand, it gives validity to the greatness of the character. Having somebody like you portray that and bring that to life. How the heck was that? Like, are your shoulders okay from carrying that?
Girl.
Is your back all right?
Girl. I've had 5 months off and it's still...
When the call came in, what was your first reaction?
Tears.
Yeah.
I think actually, yeah. And then calling my mum and she being, what's happening? And I said, I got it, mommy, I'm correct, I got it.
I made it, mama.
And she's like, Jesus. And we're both on the floor crying. I can't remember if it was on the phone or if it was in person. But it was obviously, I mean, it's such an honor, such a privilege,
I'm so excited for you, almost like you haven't done it already, but...
Do you know what? It doesn't feel... I think it's going to feel different because filming is always different from when it comes out.
100%.
And it's, you know, getting to share this experience with the world.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as there's excitement, there's also slight anxiety because filling the boots of people who, and this is my first like biopic, so this is the first time I've ever played anyone who's walked on the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Every other time I've made up my characters, given them my own little things and whatever. Yeah. So this took a lot of research and a lot of sensitivity, a lot of respect and reverence, I would say, because it's like, okay, I have to do my best to tap in, and I have to think about everyone that's going to be affected by it, people who's, you know, as Black people in the Western world, we are benefiting from what Dr. Martin Luther King and his wife did, and one of the most prolific women in humanity, I would actually say, in terms of the modern world. So there's a lot of reverence, a lot of trepidation, but a lot of prayer that went into preparing for it. But yeah, it's a big deal for me, and I pray that I have done I justice. Yeah, I feel like I did my best. Yeah, and that's all that I can do.
Yeah, but also you wouldn't have been chosen for it if they didn't see in you that you could do better than your best. Because it's such a legacy role and character that regardless of however you shape it, shift it, cut it, it's going to be open to a level of skepticism. It's going to be open to a level of criticism as well. Because a lot of people are very emotionally attached to the person and emotionally attached to the movement and what they stood for, what they represented, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, regardless of whether you feel as though you did it justice or not, it is still open to that level of scrutiny. Yeah.
I would really appreciate that.
Why?
Because that's really encouraged me at this moment. I was honestly just like, again, about to go on this press tour, so I'm preparing my mind and whatever. And you're right.
Yeah.
So
people go with their opinions. As in you are portraying somebody that walked the face of the earth, and not just strided on the pavement, but somebody that was part of a huge situation. So regardless of whether you even if you did your best, which we know you did, because the trailer is good with a T, there is still going to be that level of like, you know, people are going to be like looking in, they're going to be like zoomed in.
Of course.
And how do you deal with that? Because it's you're in such a public domain, and you walk in such a world where it is open to public opinion. And so how do you balance that with Weruche?
My family and my friends. I tend not to look at the negatives. I mean, I know people who would go and read every single review about themselves, even the bad ones. I'll maybe just look at a couple, and if I don't like it, then I'm like, okay, because I need to have I don't want to have a polarized vision of what I've done.
And this is why I'm not in your industry. I will be in every comment like, no, I didn't. I don't think you did it. Well, yeah, why didn't you do it then?
I don't even know. I had to come off Twitter in 2020 because it was too much.
Really? And I was did you ever clap back at somebody?
I definitely have clapped back once or twice. Once or twice, but then I have to remember, I'm a daughter of Christ.
I'm representing.
And I'm like, WWJ. What would Jesus do? And I'm like, okay, no more righteous anger. So I'll get mad. But then I'm so blessed to have my family, my sister, my mom, my best friend, who, if I'm ever feeling some type of way, I'll call them and they're like, whatever, man. It's, and they encourage me, and they're all, aware of how it is. So that's my core. So the reality is that, like you said, everyone's going to have something to say. Somebody's going to have something to say about anything. So for me, it's more like, how am I perceived by the people who actually know me or care about me?
Yeah.
They're the people I'm impressing.
And the truth of the matter is, nobody would have anything to say if you haven't given them something to talk about. So if somebody does say anything untowards, which I 100% believe nobody would, because again, guys, you need to go and see this trailer. It's just insane. Even from the accent to the way you walk to the way it's just insane. But I just genuinely feel as though, even if somebody was to say anything untowards, it means that you delivered. You delivered a product worth talking about, and that in itself means that you delivered the brief. So you did what you had to do.
Energy. I don't know how to do this dance. Is it correct?
Yes,
Wait, is it the hands or the shoulders that move?
The hand and shoulders.
Oh, both of
it has
them.
to be in sync.
And it's like,
and then you got to have a little bounce. Yeah.
This is the first time I've got it right.
Kids do. And then they go like this as well.
See, I can't do that one. I practiced last
I tried. I have to keep up with the kids again. I'm a young belle.
Hi guys, I hope you're enjoying the conversation so far. Well, here's a chance for you to enjoy some meals on us, of course. Use the code below for 20% off your next reservation for two. You're welcome.
Is this it?
No.
Is this it, right?
No. It's okay. It's okay. Do you know what? You have the I don't. Well, I have these. You're on Nat Geo. So right now, I think my problems are bigger.
No.
Do you see what I mean? I genuinely think my problems are bigger, and I think you are sailing through. I think that's one thing you don't need to worry about.
Oh, okay. At least I'll take it.
I
a win is a win.
Out of all the list of problems, you good.
A win is a win.
You're good. But how do you come back off of a character like that?
I don't know.
Do you feel like you're back?
No. Yes and no. But the thing is about Coretta, learning about her, I've never actually had a character. Actually, Terry kind of, because Terry from My Maidest Joy, because
Terry's
she was
great.
I've walked a little bit in her shoes because she was an actor.
So you talk about your characters in third person?
Yes.
Oh, that's crazy.
Because they are not me.
And I'm not them.
I'm not them.
I am better.
I did not do what Terry did. I'm not the person. No, Snobby. House, no. No, it's Weruche is here. That was Terry. Any issue you have, take it to Terry. Take it up with Terry.
Do you get people come to you like, why did you do that?
No.
You've never had that?
Do you know what? I'm so lucky because I think, because it came out in the middle of the pandemic.
It's the
So
best time.
I was so grateful. I'm quite a private person.
Yeah.
And so when we had the masks on, even when we went to the supermarket, once or twice, people would say to me, I don't even know. And I think one time the person heard my voice and I was like, that's cute, but creepy at the same time. Because they heard my voice, because definitely couldn't see me. I had a mask on, so how would you have known it was me?
They were watching like that night.
Probably.
Yeah.
And so because of the pandemic, I guess, and people weren't around, I didn't have
that.
And I'm so grateful for that, because I reckon if I had watched something like that, I would have been like, oh, bad.
I don't mean to that.
I don't like you.
Don't do that again.
Can you? Can you just be better? I mean, you tried to help her at the end, but make better decisions.
Do better.
Do you know what I mean? But I remember that even, doing the show, I had to empathize with her, and if she knew what was going to happen, she wouldn't have made that decision, and just the humanity of it all. But what are we talking about? It's gone.
Just you being Terry, you being able to come off your characters, and like the fact that you do just detach.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
When I start a job, I pray and I say, Father, I'm about to be this person.
Don't let the evil that happened to them happen to me. That was my first prayer.
I actually have to pray that.
100%.
I have to pray that, especially even for Coretta.
Yeah.
What I prayed was, Father, I don't want her spirit because I don't want her burden.
Oh.
I said, it's too much for me.
See my little pretty shoulders? I cannot carry it.
It's not for load.
See how light this is?
It's not for load. It's to be kissed and caressed.
Soft.
You know what I mean? A little bit dusting of just shimmer, some fancy glow on there. These shoulders are for shaking.
It's supple skin.
Not for carrying load.
I swear.
I don't want it. So I did pray that. I said, Lord, I don't want her burden.
Yeah.
I said, I'd like an essence, to carry myself more, because I'm a bit rough and tumble-ish kind of, I'm a lady, but I can be a bit. But I was like, she's a whole. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I said, Lord, I want her grace, I want her essence, but I do not want her spirit or her burden. Yeah. Because I can't deal with that.
And it's so funny, not to even over spiritualize it, but I do find that, again, I'm not an actress. However, I do feel as though when you do take on a role of that magnitude, you really have to just embody the whole scene. You can't just be like, listen, I'm just going to be Coretta for this little scene here, and then tap out. You really have to tap into the emotion, the person, the mental.
And if you want to give the truth, as much truth as you can, which is what, as an actor, I feel my job is to be as truthful as I possibly can. It's, I'm not playing, I'm playing my understanding of Coretta. I can't play Coretta because she's been here. Yeah. So I'm playing my understanding of her. So I'm showing you how I would have responded or how I might have felt if I was going through the things she was going through. But again, it's a big burden. And if you're talking about being an actor, an actor who's working is spending.
You were saying 6 months, isn't it?
Yeah, I was 6 months in Atlanta being American.
Jesus.
So my tongue was twisted all the time. Where sometimes I would just be speaking in an American accent, and my co-stars who are incredible would forget that I was British. And on the last day, a lot of people didn't know that I was until I gave
What did your family say?
About
whenever would you speak to them in an American?
Oh, they can't stand it.
They hate it.
Of course, they're like, shut up.
Just be.
They're like, is there camera there? Is the camera on you?
But you have to stay in that space.
And I'm in the environment. Yeah. I'm, spending 12 hours a day on set.
Oh God. I'm
pretty much American at this point, back to back, and it's 6 months, so you're there, and then even when you're not on set, you're still hearing accents. So it's a whole life that you kind of take on.
Of course.
No, my family can't stand it. They get so irritated, but they're like, oh, here we go. Every time I get an American role, they're like,
here we go again.
Water.
It brings the chat.
She's gonna ask for water. She's gonna be like, what?
Get to waters. But it must be. I'm gonna ask you if you do, but I really do hope that you have. I don't want to call it a ritual, but like a process of coming down back to self after you've had to really tap into emotions that perhaps even in your walk of life you've never even had to tap into before because your experiences just haven't led there. And what is your come down process to where you are still able to get back to Weruche and you're like, okay, I'm back to me now and I'm comfortable and I'm happy and that was a job and now I can just enjoy being me again. Like, what is the come down process?
My family again. My family and my friends are kind of my comfort. Yeah, I mean, of course, Christ. So the first thing I'll do when I finish the job, I thank God about it. You know, I pray, and then I actually say I release the character.
Yeah.
I say, Lord, I'm done. Here you are. The wigs, I tend to wear wigs when I work because I don't want anybody touching my hair. The wigs play a big role because it's like, with the wigs going on my head, I'm becoming somebody else.
Do you feel like it's almost like a jacket?
Yeah, it's a costume. It's a cloak. Right. So when the wig comes off, especially the last time, it's like prayer. Heavenly Father, as this wig is coming off, as I'm leaving this wig here, so am I leaving this character, and I'm back to myself, I'm back to my center. You are my center, and that's kind of it. It's just prayer, and then I call my family, speak to my mom, my sister, my best friend. And I do my hair, a different style, do something to my nails, and I'm just like, okay.
Because you were even saying, fun fact is that when you're playing a role, you have to have the same nail color for like 6 months. God, that would be grueling.
It's actually quite crazy because these are correct nails that I have gone and gotten back because I'm about to
step into touring.
Yeah, and because I'm like, I don't want to be her, but it's like, okay,
you have a job.
This reminds me of her a little bit. And, you know, it just makes me feel a bit more conservative.
Do you feel as though you have any, like, emotional, like, what do you do for your emotions? Like, after you've played such an intense role and you have prayed and you've tapped back into your family, what do you do in order to offload yourself from those super intense emotions? Because it must play a part, no?
I don't know if it's I don't know if I have a process as like a step-by-step guide.
Yeah.
But I'll do things that I enjoy.
Like what?
Yes. Eating
and dining with friends.
Delicacies.
Oh. I like cheers.
Fine food, fine wines.
Clink, clink.
Clink, clink, clink. Fine dining. I'm going to have beauty treatments. I'm going shopping. I'm traveling. I'm eating out. Just things that I enjoy. And then it reminds me of what I do, what makes me tick, what gives me joy.
And what makes you feel centered.
Yeah.
So even just completely, I guess, now segueing into the notion of I May Destroy You, which is where I first saw you, and I was just like, I want to be her fan. I want to be her friend so bad, even though she wasn't great, but she's really good. And you was on the bill.
Yes.
But would you say that was the first time you was really on British screens?
No, because I've been on. I did Bad Education. I did Top Boy. To name a few that I can think off the top of my head. But I May Destroy You was Slumberland. But Slumberland came after I May Destroy You, actually. So
but that's on Netflix, no?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is. No, I May Destroy You was my breakout role. And I don't know if you've heard the saying where they say it takes 10 years to make an overnight success.
I haven't.
Okay, they said it takes 10 years to make an overnight success.
So I got about 9 more to go.
You can be quicker. The grace of God.
The grace of God.
The grace of God.
Where talent won't take you, the grace of God will save you.
Oh!
My trainers are just
pursue and overtake.
Yeah.
I remember hearing that, and I remember coming up. I think I researched how long it took for Halle Berry and Denzel Washington. Really? Yes, because somebody said that to me. Someone was like, "Have you done the research?" It was probably like a corporate person who was giving all this motivational stuff, like, the people that you want to be like, what have you done to emulate what they did to get to where they're going? I was like, first of all, I don't care for that stuff.
Please, the grace of my life is different.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
First of all.
But then I was like, okay, actually, let me do my due diligence.
Yeah.
So I did go and look, and it was about 10 years, 8 to 10 years, is how long it took for them to get a significant role.
Yeah.
I May Destroy You came out in 2020. I started acting in 2010. So my 10th year in the industry was when my breakout role happened.
And I really want to carry on talking about it, but literally before we started recording, Relatability was telling me a story about why she no longer eats prawn crackers. And I really want to hear the story. It stemmed from I May Destroy You. So please tell me the story. So why?
I don't even can't click with the smell of prawn crackers. We had Chinese at home yesterday, and I was like, who is this in this prawn crackers? It needs to go. It needs to go.
Out in the bin.
So eating on set is, when I first started, the first time I ever ate on set, I didn't realize there was actual skill to it.
Yeah.
I just thought, they said, what would you like to eat?
They said food, so you said eat.
I said, give me this and that. And I was like, we're going to be fed today. And I like food. First take, I'm eating the food. Director said, I love the way you eat. People are always so scared to eat on TV, but it looks great. So I'm like, I'm doing something great. He loves it.
You're eating.
After 3 takes.
You want me to? So you eat?
I said, wait. And I had to keep going. By the end of the day, I was sick. That was the first time.
Did you vomit?
I didn't. Okay. But I didn't have lunch that day. The actual lunch that they provided for everyone, because I was full.
And prawn crackers.
That wasn't even prawn crackers. That was the food. And then the next day, I didn't learn from that. That was the first time I didn't learn from them. And then they were like, because I'd set it up that I eat so well on TV, director's like, how about we give you some prawn crackers?
Oh.
I was like,
he knew what he was doing.
He did, but I was still like, cool, prawn crackers isn't a meal. It's a snack. That'll be good.
It was a snack.
I like snugs. Yeah. So we're doing the scene, crunching it. And I'm like, yo, how many more takes do we have?
So literally in every take, you had to eat prawn crackers.
I had to eat. And then it got to a point where I
felt physically sick.
I felt, and imagine, they're fried. So it got to a point where I started tasting the oil. Can you imagine how many prawn crackers you have to eat to taste the
I would vomit. I would vomit on set and ask them to carry out.
So what happened was I realized halfway through the day, I was still doing this scene because it's outside in East London in the street. So there's people doing all sorts of stuff. So this scene is taking longer than it should anyway. I was like, okay, take 3 bites in total, chew 4 times each. And that was the only way I was able to survive it.
So you had to mentally tap in order to eat.
Yes, because it became
intense,
tragic.
And now the sight of a prawn cracker, this is the side. When people are getting on stage and thanking God and the agent that first believed in them, this is the side they don't talk about. All the food that's now been left behind.
And we talk about the food, or the fact that when you eat all the meals and your costume doesn't fit anymore.
Oh no!
And they're like, we just have to extend it.
Oh no! Does that happen?
Oh yes!
Oh no!
To me, yes. I can't speak about other people, but me, yeah.
Because obviously you're eating, so naturally you just continue to go and grow.
Yeah.
Oh no!
So sometimes it's just like, I always say, guys, just let you know. My jeans today are kind of tight, so I want to I need some help.
Oh no!
And they give me some sponge to let it out a little bit.
Oh my God!
But you know what? It's just like, especially after overtime as well. You know,
it's
women, and our bodies fluctuate anyways. So it's kind of like, okay, you make the allowances here and there, and luckily you have costume people who can make the adjustments. But it's just God
can help you along your merry way.
Yeah, you go round way.
You're around now.
My round
fluffy ways.
Yeah. My fuller ways.
Emphasize.
Yeah. My richer ways. I like it rich.
But how was it actually? Because I May Destroy You was just so. Oh God, it was good. It was good. What was that process like? Because essentially, I'm assuming it would be different from the pressure that came from, or that now in hindsight has come from Coretta? Or would you say it's similar?
I am very blessed that filming things is always fun for me.
Yeah.
Well, has been so far. I've been blessed to have incredible casts who, even though we're dealing with some serious stuff,
because there was some super heavy topic bases there, hence why it kind of blew, because it was like it was taking something that's super serious, but also producing it in a way that was digestible, relatable, sometimes funny, but also sometimes like, oh my god. It literally evoked so many different emotions.
I would say Michaela did a fantastic job.
Oh, she brilliant.
Because I didn't have to do too much. The script was so rich and embodied all these nuances of life, the comedy, the darkness, the trauma, everything was just already there. So all I came to do was just
sprinkle.
Do you know what I mean? Just blow a little air into it. It was already so full-bodied already.
But you did bring it to life though, because literally I remember watching you, and I think everybody could be like, I have a friend like her. Like what a dumb decision. I have a friend like that. Do you know what I mean? Like we everyone knows a Terry.
Yeah. She is very relatable. I had a lot of social media people saying they wish they had a friend like Terry.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get it. Because, you know, ultimately you can see that there was love there. Yeah. She genuinely did love Arabella. I mean, and then this is also something I remember the first time I read the script properly, we sat and spoke about it. And I was like, no, I don't like Terry. I don't like what she's done.
Yeah.
And I remember Michaela saying, specifically, she didn't want anybody to be a villain in the story. Because at one point, I did feel like Terry was a villain. And she was like, Terry did what she thought was right at that time.
Yeah.
And when you watch it, you see that she spends the rest of her time trying to make up for it, exactly, to right the wrong that she made.
Yeah.
And so it's just that thing of humanity, you know, everyone, a lot of times we have good intentions. The result might not be.
Human experience.
Exactly that. And it actually gave me a lot more grace for myself outside of Terry, me, Weruche, and for people as well. Because I'm like, it's, you know, things happen. Yeah. It's not always, everything's not cut dry. Do you know what I mean? It's not black and white all the time. And so that's what Terry taught me, actually. Yeah.
And I guess the fact that it was such a thought-provoking art, literally body of work, again, much like what you're about to embark on in terms of the tour and promoting Genius, it did evoke a lot of emotions, and it did allow a lot of people to be able to relate, whether good or bad. How did you deal with did you get any resistance? And if so, how did you deal with it?
Resistance in what sense?
Resistance in the sense of feedback. Oh, why did you guys do that? Oh, I didn't really like that. Because it's such a sensitive topic base. Like, did you get was there any criticism?
No.
No.
Not that I recall.
Not at all.
But maybe I was also hiding under a rock.
Do you know what, Fez?
Because, like I said, I will read one or two things that are not to balance it out.
Just to keep us
humble. No, I'm joking. I think it is, you know, so you don't have a polarized view of it.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, I would say 97% of the feedback was positive. I do know that some people found it hard, a bit too much.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But then that is a personal thing, I think. When people say to me they watched it more than once,
I've 100% watched it like 5 times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Side eye. Because it's so heavy. I've only watched it once.
Yeah.
Once or twice, max.
So do you find it hard to watch it separating yourself from being involved to now being a viewer?
No, it's just, after I've done a job, the first time I watch it, I'm still part of it. Second time I watch it, I'm watching it as a viewer. And then from then on, I don't see what I dissociate precisely.
Yeah.
So as a person, as a human being, I think it's a very heavy piece of work.
Yeah.
And I possibly will watch it again, but I tend to watch a lot of light things.
Yeah.
Because
things to keep it
nice. Life is hard enough.
Yeah. There's a crisis outside. The price of bread is skyrocketing.
It's high. Things are happening. So I tend to try to watch light things just to keep me upbeat. So if I will definitely watch it again, but I think it's such a heavy piece. But I mean, everyone's different. You know, a lot of people have said, I have people say to me, they've watched it 5 times and it changed their lives. And I'm just...
It's such a good body of work. And I think it is that thing of where, especially when you do grow up in London, you're like, you get the lingo, you get the vibe. And then walking down the streets of East London, you're like, I was literally there yesterday. It's such a nice thing to be able to almost attach to, but also unattached to, because there's certain things that topic bases that are raised that I can't relate to at all. Glory be to God. But it's also interesting to see how different characters react to that. And I think everybody can find a character that they do relate to with regards to that topic base. And I think that's why it was so successful, and it was just so thought provoking, and it was just so great. And I think, how do you feel being part of something like that?
Honored. It's, you know, again, God's plan, because I actually had another job that I was doing when the offer for that came through, and I had to do a lot of praying. And thank God I made the right decision, because I made sure you obviously changed my life. But you are right in the sense that there is relatability for everyone. And even if you don't have a direct, there is somebody, there's like a 1 degree of separation, do you know what I mean? In terms of, you know, somebody who's experienced something. So there's so many things to relate to. And I think that the stories are just human stories. Even if you took it out of London and put it in New York, or even in Lagos in Nigeria, there's still the same characters everywhere. And I think that's what it is. It's the human interaction, the friendships, the... it's just them experiencing each other. The experiences are, you know, global. It transcends location at this point. So I'm just honored, and honestly just thank God that it turned out how it did. Did I know it was going to be, I knew it was going to be special. I remember reading the script and knowing that this is something special, and I want to be in this. But I didn't have any idea. And I mean, it was insane. How would I have known there was going to be a pandemic that would make sure that everybody sat home and watching it?
Grace and God.
It's...
Feel the spread in the room. Have you seen that meme where she's like...
That's what I do that every day at home. I'm like, you did that. So, no, I'm honestly so grateful how it's all panned out, and how it's going to continue panning out by the grace of God.
And I genuinely think, even again, like, as a viewer, it was so interesting to see 2 strong Black leads, women, especially just doing the damn thing. You know, and I think, again, I'm not in your industry, but again, in a society where it's unfortunate, but that's not the majority, it's not the norm. How have you navigated that? Because we was also previously speaking about an event that we went to, and your response was, that's the norm. How do you deal with that?
I'm shining, baby. Wherever I'm at. And that's something that I've had to, you know, I think I made sure you definitely did shine a light on that, you know, especially being Black, being female, finding that our stories are only now starting to be told on a wider scale.
In a beautiful way. In a way that isn't stained. Or looked at as less than.
The authenticity is being kept as much as possibly can. And experiencing that has given me an audacity, I would say. So now wherever I go, sometimes I don't even realize if people are being shady or the microaggressions, because I'm just so in my own world.
I'm shining.
I'm gonna shine.
Whether you like it or not.
I'm gonna shine. I'm gonna shine. I'm
Stop doing this. Stop doing this, because I know what your reference is. Stop doing it.
I'm gonna shine. And this is honestly,
I need everyone to know what that reference is. I'm gonna shine.
You gotta put a video.
I have to put it up. I have to put it up, because if you don't know what that reference is, I'm gonna shine.
I'm gonna shine. It's what, you know, my mom has drilled this into my head. You know, as a child of God, I'm just like, listen, I'm here. You're gonna know I'm here. I'm not gonna shout it.
Yeah.
You're gonna feel
You're
my
gonna see
shine.
it. You're gonna see it.
Listen. And so I walk into spaces now that I might not have walked into confidently before, because I'm like, yeah, I'm supposed to be here.
I'm 100%.
And I'm going to...
There is room for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I make no apologies.
Yeah. And I think even just for myself, in terms of my development and my growth, that is really inspiring for me, because I think it's only of late that my mindset has been transitioning to one of, I'm supposed to be here, and I'm good here. Mm-hmm. And again, I don't want to kind of like over talk about even the event that we're speaking about, but that was also a pivotal event for me, because so Weruche and I shared a story. The names. Yes. So I've gone from, backstory is, I've gone from a 4-letter surname to a 12-letter surname. Yeah. And I guess I was that kid in school where I was like, yeah, my name is Ruth O'Tay. It just rolls off the tongue. The teacher doesn't have to try too hard. 8 letters all together, boom, you're done. And I don't know why. I think maybe there was a level of, not even think that perhaps maybe was a level of like insecurity in me that made me proud of that, because why is that something for you to be proud of? It's your name, isn't it? But it was something that I was like, yeah, like you don't have to struggle with my name. Yeah. And so I guess now that, glory be to God, I met the love of my life, and now I've got a 12-letter surname. Hallelujah. We was at the table, yes. And one of the questions that was asked was, okay, do you prefer Ruth Pokes or Ruth Inter in Cancer? And I said, well, since having my son's name is Nathaniel James Inter in Cancer. So what I'm going to do is...
That's a strong name,
that boy has a name, okay? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go head first into every room as Ruth Inter in Cancer, so that you guys will learn how to pronounce and come to terms with my surname, so that when my baby boy walks into the same room, you don't have to struggle. And even if you have to struggle, you have to adjust yourself, not him. Yes. So I think I've been very, very intentional about that. And one of the comment was, yeah, but the other one is easier. And then we shared a joke that, yeah, but people say Arnold Schwarzenegger all the time. Yeah. Y'all find that good? Y'all find that easy? And then I guess when you made that comment, it was, yeah, but you've changed your name. Yeah. And then you made such... I think you said this, but I don't think you realize how powerful this was. But you said, yeah, you did. I hope you don't mind me sharing. Mm-hmm. You then started going by Rianne. Mm-hmm. And you said, but when you went back to your name, like your great name, Weruche, hello, hi, doors that started flying open. Yes. Because again, maybe, I don't know whether it's because we're Nigerian, but there's power in the name. Mm-hmm. My name has a meaning. Yes. And I think when you said that, I was like, for me, there was like a switch of like, I don't need to prove myself to none of you. I deserve to be here. And instead of me adjusting myself to be here, you guys are going to have to adjust yourself to me. Talk about it. And I think that was so pivotal in terms of my mindset. And I guess in terms of even people who are, because you're a vet in this, you've been in this for a while, you've met the people, you've done the schmoozing, you've done the smart. You still don't feel like you've done that. But in your head, you're like, like you've been here, we've been here, done this. But I guess for us newbies and for whoever else might be watching this, and it's like, I want to tap into what she's doing and da-da-da-da. There is a level of, especially as like a Black female, you feel as though, I need to adjust myself. I don't want to give off the angry Black woman narrative. I don't want to knock if you buck. And me too, I want to just, I want to be westernized and dainty. I don't really want to crack too many. I can't be African and dainty. Yeah, I want to be just dainty. I want to be a flora. But I think now more so than ever, I guess there just feels like a shift, and we're realizing that, I could be a flower and dainty, and I can also be African and proud, and Black woman and proud, and I think that's something that you've taught me. So I really wanted to tell you that was such an inspiring moment for me, because I was like, I am Mrs. Ruth Inter in Cancer. You're gonna learn to say my surname, regardless whether you like it or not.
The energy.
Yeah.
I was thinking to do this again.
just bounce the shoulders. But I've thoroughly enjoyed this, and I think if somebody was watching this and they're looking at you and they're like, I aspire for that. I aspire to be there. I aspire to one day have the opportunity to even sit with her and talk about her experiences and things like that. But they are also struggling with a sense of self. They are perhaps maybe struggling with a sense of, even like you say, your comeback is tapping into your family and feeling like home again. If they're even struggling to find what that comeback is for them, what advice would you give them?
Give yourself grace.
Oh no.
Grace and time. I want to say there is no rush because you can't rush process.
Right.
Process has to happen how it has to happen. And you just have to trust that the process is going to take you where you need to get to.
Absolutely.
But it's imperative, I think, to find out who you are in your core. When everything's stripped away, who are you? What do you stand for? And once you can figure that out, you're going to be able to stand in that wherever you go.
Yeah.
And that's you. And nobody can take that away from you. So once you're able to find that out, and I say that, and I know it's not, I know how long it took me to get to that point, quite late in life, I think. So I would say give yourself grace, but be in the search for who you are. And when you find her or him or whoever, hold on. No matter what happens, that you are going to be, that's your core. And you cannot, if your core isn't strong, you have nothing.
Yeah, and be unapologetic about it.
Unapologetic.
Yeah.
Be yourself. Whoever you are is good enough. You were made how you were made. And that's how I go through life, because I'm a shy.
We need to put that meme in. Guys, we need to put that meme in.
I think this is now it's going to be my catchphrase.
I'm a shy.
I'm a
One day you're going to see on
shy.
Instagram and be like, guys, I'm a shy.
And
that's a lot you're going to hear from me.
And I'll be like, I see you. I'm a shine. You go shine, baby.
See me.
Listen.
But yeah, no, that's good.
Unapologetic.
Unapologetic. That's good. That's good. That's good. I love that. And I think there's nothing left to add to that. Go forth and be unapologetically you and shine.
Shine.
Just shine.
You gotta shine, baby. Shine.
That's it. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Yeah, this has been beautiful. So thank you. See you soon. Bye.